We all know who Cam Newton was, right?
Aw.
Cam Newton, former NFL MVP, first overall pick out of Auburn, first game of his career with 422 yards, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
We saw it like right from the get-go, the flashes and all that stuff. And now here's the thing. When Bryce Young was drafted, I know Panthers fans were probably thinking and feeling like, do we have our next Cam? And I'm not talking about Cam Newton, the physical talent. Cam Newton, the physical talent, is a rare breed. Like, there are very few guys that have come into the NFL before or since him that fit that profile. Anthony Richardson, second-year quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts, has that physical ability, the running, the strength, the size. Josh Allen, actually, I think really actually is very similar. But you're hoping that Carolina drafted their next Cam Newton in terms of impact, franchise impact. As soon as Cam arrived in Carolina, everything changed. Everything changed. You had the face of your franchise from marketing standpoint, jersey sales, personality, all those things. You had the face, but also you had the talent on the field that matched it. Panthers went to a Super Bowl. They won multiple division championships. Cam won an MVP.
Mm-hmm.
And the way the team was built, at least offensively, was built around him. It was built around his strengths, built around what he could do. Gosh, I remember the days when Cam and Christian McCaffrey in the backfield
beautiful.
together. It was awesome.
I loved it so
much. And it
much.
wasn't that long ago. People that want to try and compare Bryce and Cam. Now, I know some people are going to look at Bryce and go like, wait a second, that don't look like that guy. And I know that guy worked. You don't look like that guy in terms of physical stature. I totally get that. But I think Bryce wasn't drafted to be Cam, the physical player. Because again, that's an alien. That's what that is. That's an alien. Those guys aren't around all over the place.
He was the alien before Mahomes was here.
But then you look at what the franchise impact is supposed to be. That's where people want to see, okay, who's our next Cam Newton? Like, who's their next franchise quarterback that is going to be the person that this team is built around in terms of his strengths, the coaching staff, the players, the personnel, how they draft, built around this guy because you know that he was to be the one that carries things through. You still have that question.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they try to do the patchwork thing after they got rid of Cam. Maybe this is the curse of Cam Newton. Maybe this is what this is.
Maybe.
Because the team got rid of Cam. They decided to move on from him. They did the Teddy Bridgewater thing. They tried the Sam Darnold thing, the Baker Mayfield thing, all the other things.
Mm-hmm.
And we got here to Bryce. Hey, you moved up all the assets. We know that story to get that guy. Okay. That person is supposed to be our next Cam. Because the decisions that you made to go get him tells us that he's supposed to be the next Cam. Again, not in terms of physical stature and ability, it's about franchise impact. He's supposed to be our next Cam. And this is where Panthers fans sit there and say, well, Tepper, franchise, you told us that's Cam. We knew Cam before you were here. Mm-hmm. That ain't him.
At all.
That ain't him. Because we saw it for a decade, or the better part of a decade here, and we saw the success, and the team was in national conversations on ESPN, Fox, whatever it is. Again, Cam MVP, people talked about it. The Panthers were at its peak. And I know I'm factoring in like the early days, in like early 2000s. I know they went to the Super Bowl with Jake Delhomme, but in terms of national standing, and you can look at that team, you could look at the Panthers and say, even if you didn't know hardly anything about him, you could look at him and say like, oh yeah, there's that Cam Newton guy. Mm-hmm. That's their star. Oh, there's Cam Newton. If you're like a casual NFL fan, you can look at the Buffalo Bills and go like, oh, that Josh Allen guy. Mm-hmm. I don't know what running back is, but I know who Josh Allen is.
Yeah.
Like, he's that star player. Or you could look at Detroit for a long time, and it was, Matt Stafford and Megatron and wide receiver. Or for even, people my age, you knew the Lions stunk, but like you had that star, you had Barry Sanders. you had that guy. Mm-hmm. When you look at the Panthers, we're like, oh, yeah, Bryce. He was the first pick? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, him? Mm.
Yeah, he's known for being the short quarterback that we spent all our draft and capital on.
That's the thing. Panthers fans, remember before Tepper, yeah, we had Cam. We had that guy. Okay, we're waiting for that next guy. You come in and you tell us that's going to be the guy now. And we look and say, like, that's not it.
We know what it is.
That is where the frustration, or part of the frustration for Panthers fans, is that we were told that's supposed to be our next Cam. Mm-hmm. And he hasn't been. Now, Cam, outside of the field, also had the personality, the charisma, the swagger. He had all of it. And I loved it.
Me too.
He had the personality. He wasn't afraid to show it. He was authentically himself. I loved it.
He backed it up, too.
And he did. Well, that's the thing. Like, he played well in the field, and he backed it up. To me, Bryce, I think at times is too buttoned up.
Yes.
Especially when he talks to the media. I think he's too buttoned up at times.
Yeah.
He always gives you, like, for example, when he was asked about week 1 struggles, hey, was it just first game jitters, first game of the year, first game in a new offense, kind of led to a rough week 1? Here's what he had to say.
I think that for me, that's not really how I choose to look at things. I think we all have circumstances. Everyone, whether it's system or players or whatever, if you choose to look at that, I think you can make excuses for almost anything. So for me, I want to be the best that I can every single day. And again, we looked at the film on Monday, grabbed stuff that we talked about, and then now we've turned the page. It's on to the Chargers. So regardless of the situation, it's NFL. Everyone has something to deal with. So right now, really, it's just about how good we can be on Sunday and earning the right to do that throughout the week of practice.
A very media answer. And I say a media answer is someone like who's media trained to kind of give like the generic kind of sidestep, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to give you something, but really nothing.
I want real. See, this is something that I actually said a couple days ago, and it's on the same wavelength. So, as a Panthers fan who misses Cam Newton so much, I don't need Bryce to be Cam Newton, but one thing that bothers me a lot with Bryce is he does not have the spark. He does not have that drive that Cam had. And Cam owned all of, if he had a bad week, he owned it. He lived up to it. He acknowledged it, and then he worked on it. Not that Bryce doesn't, but it's okay to come out there and be like, look, we stunk. I'm going to work on things. I've got this, but we'll work on it for the next week. I miss that with Cam. He had that heart. He had that drive. He had that dog like Dan Morgan likes to. I loved Cam Newton. But that concerns me with Bryce because I don't see that in him.
Exactly. That's you made my point more eloquently than I did now, Victoria, in terms of like saying like we know what Cam is, like that spark. That's not it when we see Bryce. That's what I meant by impact, by franchise impact. We haven't seen that from him. I want to see Bryce open up. If he were to answer that question, again, he was paraphrasing the question here, but like, hey, the struggles, was it part of, first game of the year jitters, being part of a new offense, learning it, not having a lot of reps, and live action during the offseason? He could have said, like, there's no excuse. I was bad. I can't throw a pick on the first play. We're getting back to work. The offense is good. I have to be better. But that's like, just if he just said that, been like, okay. All right, cool.
Yep. Got
it. And no, we get 41 seconds of like this talk around type thing.
Mush mouth.
That's the media trained answer.
Yeah.
He also was asked because he was known coming out of the draft as being like this guy who's his strength was between the ears, his mind, right? He was asked like, does the offense fit his strength when it comes to processing?
It's, again, another thing I appreciate about the coaching staff. They want to win games, want to be efficient, and offensively just want to execute. And they don't care how it gets done. They give me the freedom to do as I see fit. And for me, with that respect, it's not just going rogue and doing whatever. It's having conversations throughout the week and, hey, I saw this. Communicating about whatever it may be, and them doing the same with me. So I appreciate that, and I think the system is, for me, it's a great system to be a part of. So I'm grateful for it.
Once again, kind of a workaround here, because it's processing, seeing stuff before the play, knowing like, okay, blitz is coming here. All right, let's change protection. Let's slide things over. Hey, let's call an audible. All those different kinds of things at the line of scrimmage, like the savant. And this is, I think, where Panthers fans are a little concerned is that we haven't really fully seen that yet,
No.
it feels like. But it's also, if you can't be that,
Yeah. Then what are you?
then what are you? Because you don't have the elite arm, you don't have the size, you don't have the speed.
No. And that's why we got you, is because you are cool, calm, collected in the pocket and out of it.
Well, yeah, like, again, between the ears.
Oh, so frustrating.
So that's, again, I think where we see Bryce, the impact on the franchise, it hasn't been the Cam Newton. Again, I'm just talking impact, not raw physical ability. But the spark that you mentioned, Victoria, haven't seen it yet.
I know.
And I hope that spark, I hope that fire lights real soon. Otherwise,
Me too.
they'll move on.
Let's go get one of them logs or something.
Hey,
Duralog or
little
something.
fire starters?
Yeah, with the crackle in it.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Like, I need some instant light charcoal, and I'm throwing the lighter fluid on.
Please and thank you.